As we all know, this 5 months of COVID has taken a huge toll on the mental health of everybody. While the adults have somehow managed to cope with the situation, the one area which is generally getting neglected or not coming to fore is the mental health condition of the children, especially the young children and the adolescents. And we have with us Shobika Jaju ma'am. She is a senior psychologist and she is heading the counseling center Silver Linings in Madgaon. And we have with her we are with her to know more about what is her views about the scenario as far as the mental health impact on the children and the young adolescents are concerned, being in the capacity of a counselor and a senior psychologist. So, hello ma'am, welcome to this session of Uncovering India.
Thank you so much.
So, coming to the point, as you heard, our focus point, the children and the young adults, how has this lockdown, closure of schools and this prolonged stay at home, no recreation, how it has taken the toll on the children? What is your take on that?
Absolutely, all the points that you have mentioned are so valid. And as you said that we are all talking about adult mental health, but we are not really talking as much as we should about the mental health of children, adolescents, and even younger ones like toddlers and the smaller kids. And clearly, all these points that you have mentioned, whether it is the school closure, now online classes, lack of recreation, not meeting friends, having both parents at home all the time and therefore listening to instructions all day long, there are a lot of factors which students, younger kids are dealing with at the moment. And how this has impacted, I would say that the anxiety, the depression, stress, suicidal thoughts, to the extent of COVID anxiety, all of these things which adults are talking about and complaining of experiencing, even burnout, exhaustion, not having their own space, adults are talking about it, right? Openly we are saying that these are the problems that we are experiencing because of the pandemic. Children are also experiencing these very emotions. The only difference is the way it manifests. As adults, we can talk about it. Society has given us that permission to feel these emotions.
The children can't express, and even if they express, they are not taken seriously.
Absolutely. As a society, somewhere we feel that if it's a child or an adolescent, they're not supposed to feel anxious. Or even if they are feeling anxious and they may be irritated or they may show more anger. And
so, in your view, you have been getting large many cases that you have been getting since last 4 months especially. What kind of issues are getting thrown up in front of you? What are your observations? What are you seeing? Like for example, from Goa, what are your observations?
In terms of mental health issues, I am noticing increased anxiety amongst children. And we want to understand that anxiety amongst children is manifesting differently in different age groups. So for the younger children, like the really smaller ones, let's say up to the age of 5, we are noticing increased amount of irritability. That's how anxiety manifests in children. For adolescents or those in higher grades, we are also noticing a lot of anxiety related to academics or their future. And when it comes to adolescents, we are also noticing that there is a lot of family conflict that they may be experiencing, at this moment. Because they are not being allowed to go out or they cannot pursue some of the interests that they thought they would be able to. Like we do know that in Goa, at least the adolescents are pretty active when it comes to sports and all.
Plus no annual vacations.
No annual
vacations getting used up sitting inside home.
In fact, with younger children, parents have been complaining about, that how the child is not entirely able to understand why they are not able to go on a vacation when it was an annual tradition. And the biggest problem I think that is happening right now is that everybody is home all the time. So when everybody is home all the time, children also don't know that what is happening. Whereas earlier this lockdown pandemic was being viewed as the vacation time. Now it is like, when is this going to get over? When will my parents go back to work? When will I get back to school? We are also noticing this trend, where children are now withdrawing socially. particularly younger children are at the risk of getting conditioned, to not meeting people, to not interacting socially with adults or even people their own age.
There will be a long-term mental impact, behavioral impact.
Absolutely. There is a lot of research that's been happening right now, and researchers are predicting not just a negative mental health impact of the pandemic right now on the children, but also for the future. In fact, a long-term mental health impact. We do need to understand that right now itself, there's a lot of anxiety with respect to the competitive examinations when it comes to those who are, in their late teens or early young adulthood. And even for younger children, being on online classes, and this is something that I have been questioning, a lot. I've been asking about this a lot to people I know, friends who have kids being exposed to online classes, that nobody is also talking about issues like attention deficit or hyperactivity, which have been shown to get triggered because of prolonged screen exposure. Because right now it is required that everybody is online all the time. We are not talking about this, and we know that 0 to 5 years is the most prominent age where such excessive exposure to screen time can trigger attention deficit issues in later life, and we are not talking about it.
And also things like the physical health factors. All these kids are now so much online, and apart from that, even for entertainment also they are all online. You are all online for that matter. Why only there? So what kind of physical impact also this is going to have, or it's already having? So, for example, impact on your eyesight, impact on your sleep disorders, then that resulting in irritability. So, what is the after effect of this everything now online that we are talking about?
So, as you pointed out, beyond the eyesight, sleep is a very major factor. And we know that everybody needs to sleep. Sleep is the fuel to our bodies. And for the younger you are, the longer you need to sleep. And children are not sleeping. Children, adolescents, because of access to tablets, laptops, in the space of their own private rooms. Smartphones, they are on the gadgets a lot of the time. Time which previously was divided between schoolwork and gadget time has now all become gadget time. There is good screen time. I'm not saying that all screen time is bad, of course, but more monitoring needs to be there. Sleep is definitely one, and excessive exposure to screen time also induces emotional passivity. So your ability to feel emotions can get affected if you are constantly just consuming content and not interacting. Beyond the sleep, even appetite's getting affected. You may not want to eat.
Due to lack of physical activity.
Lack of physical activity, and also because there's so much screen time exposure that you're not paying attention to your own physical cues of hunger, of sleep.
You're ignoring them.
Yes. So these are also some of the concerns that can happen.
When it comes to the mental health impact, especially the children who are not getting exposed to all these things, the behavioral issues that you're talking about, what is the long-term impact this can have on their psyche, the bearing that you think? We already have children having withdrawal symptoms. We're already seeing children not even behaving properly in the house, and even the parents are stressed out how to manage their kids. So it's like a nice sort of volatile situation that has come over now. When all these things subside, in the longer run, what is the scars, the mental scars that these children will take? What is your estimate?
According to me, what I am most concerned about is the overall effect on the attention and concentration spans that are going to get affected because of overexposure to the gadgets. And because of the pandemic, children are on the edge, just like adults, because children mirror adults' emotions. So children are also on the edge, which means that their overall stress hormone release on a daily basis is quite high, which is going to make them be more prone, more susceptible to developing the diagnosis of conditions related to anxiety or depression for that matter. Because it's like if I am constantly perceiving a certain threat, even though I may be able to keep the threat away right now, there's no guarantee that tomorrow I'm not going to perceive even lesser threatening events as extremely threatful. So that could increase the susceptibility.
Fear psychosis?
The fear psychosis, yes, absolutely.
So what will that mean? No. The fear psychosis, what will that mean? Will that inhibit the overall growth of a child in the long run, mentally and physically?
Okay, so I think one distinction that we need to draw here is that when we talk about developmentally inhibiting the growth, there is still a lot of research being done, and I think it would be a bit premature of me to say that developmentally the growth will be inhibited, but emotionally there is already a lot of evidence. Emotional development is likely to get inhibited because of all the negative stimulation that is being provided to children right now. Some of it may not be very conscious. Children are consuming news the way an adult would. For example, they are also reading news, they're also watching news about the COVID and all the things that could happen because of it. So that fear psychosis that adults are so openly talking about, children are also experiencing it. Perhaps they don't have somebody to talk to about it. So
what is the way forward? What do you think? What is the solution? Is there any solution in hand that we, as a family, as a society, that we can do to safeguard our children, safeguard ourselves against the mental scars that we are talking about?
of course, there are always solutions, and solutions are going to depend on the symptoms or the difficulties that a child is showing. Every child is different. Every child will be responding to this situation differently. So, for example, now we know that there has to be screen exposure. There is nothing that we can do to avoid it. Then perhaps the unpleasant screen time, the excess exposure to web series or games or videos can be moderated. If you are consuming news about COVID, and now almost all of us know someone who has been diagnosed with the disease, so try and avoid talking about it in front of the children. It's very important that as parents, caregivers, we also don't show our anxiety about the pandemic in front of the kids, because kids are going to mirror our anxieties. It would also help to have some unstructured time with the children, where you as parents can just spend some time with your child doing things that both of you enjoy, that you used to probably enjoy before the lockdown, but you haven't been able to do that right now. So I think a lot depends on, most importantly, facilitating healthy communication between the parents and the children. Maybe even teachers and children. It's important as adults that we acknowledge that children have the ability to experience emotions just the way we do as adults, and sometimes even in more depth. And it's important to give them that safe, non-judgmental space to express those emotions, to help them label their feelings and offer solutions. Yes, without judging. Absolutely. Without judging, without trying to fix everything then and there, just let your children talk. I think that's really important.
Thank you, ma'am. Thanks for the valuable time you gave to us, taking time out of your precious schedule. As we all heard, friends, that the mental health impact of COVID on children and young adults is something that is not only serious but also needs immediate intervention and solution. And the solution is in hand, and it is in our hand that we intervene and make the situation more open, and give the children and the youngsters to open up and vent their emotions, so that the emotional churning don't keep on painting inside them and prevent them from doing anything drastic. This is Shashwat Guptare signing off from Margao for Uncovering India. Thank you.